Next matchup we have is Dodgers, Red Sox, 710 Boston. The Dodgers are minus 115, totals at 11. We saw a 10-cent move toward the Dodgers and movement upward on the total. This one pretty much opened up as a coin flip with both teams at minus 105. But once again, LA open minus 105 up to minus a buck 15. Total open 10.5 up to 11. 53% are leaning Dodgers. And at the moment, Boston is plus 105 on the money line. Dodgers plus 135 on the run line. We have Kenta Maeda for the Dodgers, Eduardo Rodriguez for the Red Sox. Rodriguez is 9-4 on the year. He also has 106 strikeouts in just 102 2/3 innings pitched. Now, Boston won 5 out of their last 6 going into the break. They're second in the AL East. They're 49-41 overall for the year. They also rank first in hits per contest on average. They're also fourth in home scoring. One more thing to add about the Red Sox, they are 13-5 when Rodriguez throws out the first pitch. Now the Dodgers on the other side, winners in just 6 out of 14, played at the current market price. They're also just 17-26 against the spread away from home. They've dropped 6 out of their last 9 on the road. They also rank 16th in hits away from home as well. Now total-wise, the Dodgers are 8-3 to the over following a day off. The Red Sox on the other side, 83% to the over when Rodriguez makes the start. I'm going to lean toward another underdog. This time it's the home dog. Give me Boston plus 105 and the over 11 runs in that game. Next matchup, Astros, Rangers, 8:05 Eastern first pitch in Arlington. The Astros are minus 195, totals at 10. We did see a nickel move toward Houston and movement downward on the total. Once again, the Astros open $1.90 up to 195. Total open 10.5 down to 10 flat. 74% are leaning Houston, 59% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Rangers are plus 180 on the money line. Houston minus $1.20 on the run line. We have Garrett Cole for the Astros, Jesse Chavez for the Rangers. Chavez comes into this game with a 3-4 record and a 1.20 whip. Meanwhile, on the other side, Garrett Cole is 9-5 on the year, 3.09 ERA, and a 1.02 whip. He also has 170 strikeouts in just 116 2/3 innings pitched. Now, Texas is just 5-6 against Houston this year. They're also winning just 33% of their games at the current market price. They're winning just about 44% of their games as the official Vegas underdog. They're also dead last in striking out on average per game. One more thing to add about Texas. They're 25th in hits allowed at home. Houston, on the other side, first in the AL West, 57-34 overall for the year. They are, looks like 6.5 games ahead of Oakland, either 6.5 or 7 ahead of Oakland. I'll explain later. But anyway, Houston ranks 5th in hits on average per game, 4th in walks on average per game, 3rd in runs allowed on the road, and they are 1st in hits allowed on the road. Now, total-wise, Houston's 9-4 to the under following a day off. I guess that stat really doesn't apply here, considering they played last night, but just wanted to give you a heads up there. Texas on the other side, 26-19 to the under at home when the line was 9 or higher. Give me Houston minus 1.5 and the under 10 runs in that game. Next matchup, Giants, Brewers, 8-10 Milwaukee. The Brewers are minus 175, totals 9.5. We saw a 20-cent move toward the Brewers and movement downward on the total. Milwaukee open 155 up to 175. Total open 10 down to 9.5. 74% are leaning Brewers, 81% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Giants are plus 165 on the money line. Milwaukee's plus $1.05 on the run line. We have Sean Anderson for the Giants, Chase Anderson for the Brewers. Sean Anderson's coming into this game for the Giants with a 4.23 ERA and a 1.41 whip for San Francisco. Meanwhile, on the other side for the Brewers, Chase is coming into this game with a 4-2 record and 67 strikeouts in just 66 2/3 innings pitched. Now, Milwaukee is just half a game behind the Cubs for first place in the NL Central. They're also very good at home. 27 and 18 in Milwaukee. They rank third in striking batters out at home on average per game. Meanwhile, the Giants on the other side rank dead last in hits on average per game. They're also 23rd in runs allowed on the road. They've dropped 5 out of their last 6 in Milwaukee, if you're into historical trends. And one final thing to note about San Fran, they've won just 6 out of 18 ball games played at the current market price. Now, total-wise, San Fran's 83% to the over following a day off. Meanwhile, Milwaukee on the other side is 81% to the over following a day off themselves. So with all that in mind, I'm going to lean Milwaukee minus 175 in the over 9.5 runs in that game. Next matchup, Diamondbacks, Cardinals, 8:15, St. Louis. The Cards are minus 120, totals 8.5. We saw a 10-cent fade of St. Louis and movement downward on the total. The Cards open $1.30 down to minus 120. Total open 9 down to 8.5. 56% are leaning Diamondbacks, 52% shaded toward the over. Right now the D-backs are plus 110 on the money line. We have Robbie Ray for the D-backs, Adam Wainwright for the Cards. Robbie Ray is 6-6 with a 3.96 ERA. He also has 137 strikeouts in just 104 and 2/3 innings pitched. Adam Wainwright on the other side for the Cards, just 5-7 on the year, 4.31 ERA, and a 1.38 WHIP. The Cards are just 4-8 in their last dozen. They're 22nd in scoring, 20th in home hits, and they're just 3-11 following a day off. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Diamondbacks are 9-3 following a day off, 31-18 against the spread away from home. They're 5th in road scoring, 2nd in road hits, and they are 2nd in the AL West. Now, total-wise, the Diamondbacks are 22-12 to the under, taking on teams between 460 and 540. Meanwhile, the Cards on the other side, 11-5 to the under when Adam Wainwright throws out the first pitch. I'm going to lean toward another underdog. Give me the Diamondbacks plus 1.5 and the under 8.5 in that game. Next matchup, Tigers, Royals, 8:15, Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City. No line currently posted for this game. Looks like we have Daniel Norris for the Tigers, Danny Duffy for the Royals. Duffy's just 3-5 with a 4.28 ERA and a 1.35 WHIP. Kansas City's 27 games back of Minnesota in the AL Central. They're 27th in scoring, last in striking batters out. They've also dropped 6 out of their last 7, and they're just 1-5 in their last 6 at Kauffman Stadium. Detroit on the other side, pretty good in cashing on the run line when traveling. They're 23-18 ATS away from home. They're also 9th in walks allowed on the road. Give me Detroit winning this game outright for some money line cash. Next game, Reds, Rockies, 8:40 Colorado. The Rockies are minus 125, totals at 12. 69% are leaning Rockies, 57% shaded toward the under. Right now the Reds are plus 115 on the money line. Colorado plus $1.40 on the run line. We have Sonny Gray for the Reds, John Gray for the Rockies. And I think that is the first time that 2 separate games featured pitchers with the same last name. I think you'll probably see that on SportsCenter as a bizarre, weird, quirky stat. I think this is probably the first time in the history of Major League Baseball that 4 pitchers essentially with the same last name have started. Very bizarre. We have the Andersons starting in that Brewers game, and we have the Grays starting in this Rockies game. But anyway, John Gray for Colorado is 9-6 with a 3.92 ERA. He also has 115 strikeouts in just 108 innings pitched. Colorado's 24-19 at home, 1st in home scoring, 1st in home hits. Cincinnati on the other side, winners in just 17 out of 42 away from home. They've also dropped 4 out of their last 5 when traveling. They rank 28th in hits, last in road scoring. When it comes to the total, Cincinnati's just 28% to the over following a day off. They're also 20% to the over on the road when the line was 9 or higher. Colorado on the other side, 12-6 to the under when John Gray makes the start. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean Rockies minus 125 and the under 12 runs in that game. Next matchup, Mariners, Angels, 10:07 Los Angeles. The Angels are minus 160, totals at 10. We saw a nickel move toward the Angels and movement upward on the total. LA open $1.55 up to minus 160. Total open 9.5 up to 10. 75% are leaning Angels, and at the moment, Seattle's plus 145 on the money line. The Angels plus $1.10 on the run line. We have Mike Leake for the Mariners, Taylor Cole for the Angels. Cole's 0-1 with a 4.58 ERA. Meanwhile, Mike Leake on the other side for the Mariners, 4-1 in his last 7 starts. Seattle's also 27-19 against the spread away from home. They rank 6th in road scoring. Now the Angels on the other side, 20-23 against the spread at home. They rank 28th in walking batters at home as well. When it comes to the total, Seattle is 30-16 to the over away from home. So with all that said and done, another underdog. Give me Seattle plus 1.5 in the over 10 runs in that game. Next matchup, White Sox, Athletics, 10-07 Oakland. The A's are minus 180, totals 9.5, 10-cent fade of Oakland, and movement upward on the total. The A's open 190, down to 180, total open 9, up to 9.5. 73% are leaning Oakland, 81% shaded toward the under. Right now, the White Sox are plus 170 on the money line. Oakland minus $1.05 on the run line. We have Ivan Nova for the White Sox, Mike Fiers for the A's. Fiers is 8-3 with a 3.87 ERA and a 1.10 WHIP. Nova on the other side, 4-7 on the year, 5.58 ERA and a 1.53 WHIP. Oakland's 7th in runs allowed at home, 9th in hits allowed at home. Oakland's 2nd in the AL West, and they're winning 62% of their games as the official home favorite. Now the White Sox on the other side, winners in just 7 out of 17 ball games where Ivan Nova made the first pitch. They've also won just 14 out of 37 games as the official home underdog. They're 12.5 games behind in the AL Central. They're also 26th in striking batters out on the road. Now, total-wise, the White Sox are 64% to the under on the road when the line was 9 or higher. The A's on the other side, 11-8 to the under when Fiers makes the first pitch. Expensive price point here. I don't want to lay the 1.5 because I think it's going to stay under. But give me Oakland minus 180 and the under 9.5 in that game. All right, next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Braves Padres 10-10 San Diego. The Braves are minus 115, totals 8.5. We did see a 20-cent fade of Atlanta and movement upward on the total. The Braves open $1.35, down to minus 115. Total open at 8, up to 8.5. 72% are leaning Braves, 51% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Padres are plus $1 on the money line. Atlanta plus 145 on the run line. We have Dallas Keuchel for the Braves, Lamé for the Padres. Lamé is coming into this game with a 5.40 ERA. Meanwhile, Dallas Keuchel for the Braves comes into this game with a 3.60 ERA. San Diego's 27th in home scoring, 28th in home hits. The Padres are just 19-28 against the spread at home. They've dropped 5 out of their last 8 ball games straight up. The Braves on the other side, 26-18 away from home. They're first in the NL East. They're also 5th in scoring on average per game and 9th in runs allowed on the road. Now, total-wise, the Braves are 4-0 to the under when Dallas Keuchel makes the start. San Diego 3-1 to the under, taking on the Braves. Give me Atlanta minus 115 and the under 8.5 in that ball game. And that is going to do it for me. We're going to go ahead and do those shout-outs tomorrow. We're just going to combine Thursday and Friday's comments, so it's going to be a big shout-out section for Saturday's upload. But anyway, that is going to do it for me. Once again, happy Friday to you guys. I'm so happy that the weekend's here for you. Hopefully you have big plans or you have no plans and you're just going to relax. But anyway, whatever you do, hopefully you make a lot of money and you have a great weekend. But most importantly, thank you for watching this free content, this free information right here on YouTube. I certainly enjoy making it and producing it for you. And as always, I'm red hot right now on Patreon. 5-0 in my last 5. What was it? 9-1 in my last 10. We just got to read this all for you real quick because you guys really want to think about joining me on Patreon because I'm red hot right now. 5-0 in my last 5 on Patreon. 9-1 in my last 10. And I'm also 13-3 in my last 16 underdog plays. So check me out on patreon.com. A link for that site is in the description section below. And that's going to do it for me. Have a good one.